We live in the most upside down world that's ever existed in history. I imagine, back in the days of Christ and Noah, the world was also upside down, but we're in these same times. However, just like the days of Noah, the people don't realize that you're in it. It's amazing. Today I was talking to a lawyer, actually, and I was telling him about UCC and, corporate law and legis. And he was a very smart guy. He knew what I was talking about. But one of the things that he said that kind of blew my mind is that he said that, Fred, your town is a very conservative town, and I don't think that would work there. And it just popped in. I didn't say anything back to him. I just let him say it. But I thought to myself, how is that a conservative world? I look at conservatism as closer to, spirituality. I mean, a conservative should be a person that's closer to the truth than a liberal. A liberal is, liberate me, liberate me from God's law, Ladies and gentlemen, common law is closer to God's law. The courts don't want to even talk about common law jurisdiction anymore. They want to talk about admiralty law, which is a law of the Queen of England, the Jesuits. And that is not a conservative. Matter of fact, when you look at the history of the Jesuits, Rome, the Queen, these are the blood and the murder of these families, these European banker families, is outrageous. It is unbelievable, the amount of blood that these people have cutting heads off, killing, wars, Vietnam, Korea, you name it, Pearl Harbor, you name it, all of it. You name the war. The killing of the American Indians, the kidnapping of the Africans, all of that goes to Rome, ladies and gentlemen. The killing of Jesus Christ. I mean, you go watch the movie, The Passion of Christ. You're looking at a conservative man being attacked by a bunch of liberals. People that have been liberated from God's law. Seriously. They live by man's law. They don't live by God's law. And how in the world could they live by God's law if they're crucifying God's son? I mean, so maybe it's just something he used the wrong word, but I don't think so. I think that we are in the last days to where even intelligent lawyers like this guy will say things like, oh, they're conservative. And I'm thinking to myself, no, that's completely liberal fascism to have a world that's 100%, a man who sits on a throne like the Pope and pretends like he's a god. There is no God of the flesh. You should never worship any man or any football player or any Hollywood movie star, Oprah Winfrey. You should not worship and put your faith in man. I don't put my faith in Donald Trump. I pray for him and I hope that he does the right thing. I think he was a little bit better choice than Hillary Clinton. My God, I think people would have committed suicide if she would got elected. But plus, we'd probably be in war with Russia right now. I think that Trump was more conservative than that liberal Hillary Clinton. We would already be at war, and most people would agree with me on this. With Russia, that lady wanted war because the people that finance her, they thrive on death, murder, slaughter. And when they did declare a war on Russia, let me tell you what they're really going to do. They're going to get their directed energy weapons and their weather manipulation and their pulse radiation cell towers and Doppler radar and Gwen and HARP, and they're going to attack their own citizens and then say that Russia did it, or North Korea, or whatever. And that's what they were planning. I think Trump slowed it down, but I don't think he's going to stop it. He's just slowing it down a little bit, and he's focusing on getting out the targeted individuals. Donald Trump, in my opinion, is focused on people like me, but then he pretends to be one of us. That's what I think he's really doing. But he wants to get rid of the people that don't believe that some men should have all the wealth and others should have nothing. That's what Trump wants. I want equality. I want the world that God gave us. So anyway, I just wanted to say that, ladies and gentlemen, even the people that are more intelligent than the average person, like this guy I was talking to, still believes that conservatism is doing what you're told to do, following orders. Well, if everybody, being popular with the world, popularity with the world is the enemy of God. Therefore, if you're popular with the world, you're the enemy of God. Conservatism is not being popular with the world. The world wants you, Satan wants you to promote man's law, admiralty law, corporate law. That's what Satan wants. And that's what Louisiana's doing. That's what a lot of the states are doing. There's very few states that are saying, no, we're a common law jurisdiction. Very few states left. Now, they will go back to it. I'll guarantee you that. If they don't, we're all dead. They're going to kill us all. So, because following their orders is going to lead us into a pit of fire. I'll tell you that right now. You cannot serve two masters, ladies and gentlemen. You can't serve God, the Creator, and God of the flesh at the same time. People actually think that they can do this. And it's amazing what people think. I want to talk just for a second about the alpha man. Let me tell you what an alpha man is. A nonconformist. Especially if the world is saying, hey, I insist that you stick poison in your child. I insist that we kill babies. I insist that we spray chemicals in the air and call it solar radiation management when it's just poisoning humanity and genocide. I insist that you say nothing about our weather manipulation programs, that we infiltrate a city with a superstorm, kill, thousands of people, and then say only 10 died. I don't know about you, but that is not the world that we should be conforming to. And people live their lives going, I'm going to fight with love. Wait a minute. That same person that says that we're going to fight with love doesn't like Muslims, doesn't like Jews, doesn't like anyone besides their beliefs. Buddhists, no, oh, that guy doesn't dress like me, doesn't talk like me. Oh, that guy's homeless. When's the last time these people will say, I fight the world with love? Well, let me ask you a question. When's the last time you went and helped a homeless man? And here's the thing. How can you fight the world with love when you're in a job, you go to your job, when somebody needs you as a friend to talk to you, your job is, I gotta go, my job, I gotta go, my job, I gotta, if somebody, a friend needs to talk to you, needs some comforting and help and, just really just a shoulder to lean on, and your job is more important, and then you say, I fight tyranny with love, is that not mental deranged idiots? How can you fight with love when you ignore the fact that people have no homes? People that are being tortured, you think it's a conspiracy theory. How is that love? You're calling them names, you're laughing at them, you're mocking them. If somebody has a different ideology, ladies and gentlemen, I like all religions. I because I'm intelligent enough to see that they're truly worshiping the same thing. It's duality, conquering of duality. I don't care if you call it Christians, Buddhists, Jews. I don't care what you call it. But the God is the conquering of the physical and becoming spiritual. And ladies and gentlemen, you don't conquer the physical with conformity, conditioning, doing what you're told, go to your job, make your job is more important. Ladies and gentlemen, God did not give you a job. Man gave you a job. God said that this world equally belongs to you and that you should shepherd the land and protect it. Now, when BP spilt oil and Monsanto dumped dispersants, poison, into our ocean, where was the alpha male? Well, he was too busy working. Where was the conformity? Well, it was everywhere because the TV said, oh yes, they're trying to save you by dumping dispersants, and you believed it. That's called conformity. That's not true. They lied to you. When somebody lies to you and manipulates you, you should stand up and say, don't you dare do that to me again. Because if you just allow people to lie and manipulate and they're in power positions, then guess what? The earth gets worse and worse, and they lie a little bit more, and they lie so much to the where they can't even figure out another lie because you've accepted all of their lies. They're run out of lies. And that's when the world goes into genocide because I can't figure out another lie to tell them. So now we're in a world to where they stage like a Hollywood set shootings and church shootings and school shootings. And then they give you an official story. And ladies and gentlemen, that is not the official story. And guess what? You accept it as the official story. How are you fighting the world with love? By accepting that the lie is the official story. Little Red Riding Hood figured out that the big bad wolf had teeth and a big nose. You are going, oh no, that's just Granny. You know, that's Granny. No, it's not. That's a big bad wolf. You better go, why? You better ask questions. That's what the story's about. You better go, hey, Grandma, how come you have a big nose? How come you've got big teeth? You know, big ears? No, let me tell you what these people... See, Little Red Riding Hood has courage. She's got courage enough to ask questions. Well, let me explain something to you. Can you eat those dispersants? If I took those dispersants and consumed it, would I die? Yeah, you will. Then don't put it in my ocean, stupid. That means the fish will die. I mean, I dare you. Don't you dare put that in my ocean. And you better get the alpha men together and form a militia and go out there with your boats and say, shut that shit off. Don't you dare poison my ocean. That's love, ladies and gentlemen. That's love for your great mother. The great mother is going, you're poisoning me, help me, help me. And you're just too busy at work. Love thy father and thy mother. The mother is your earth. It ain't your biological mother, you freaking moron. If your biological mother kills 100 people, how do you love her? I mean, how do you obey her? I mean, you can still love her, but how do you obey her? Come on, ladies and gentlemen. If you think God is that stupid, you think Scripture is stupid. Scripture is for people that can allegorically understand the meaning. The Bible wasn't written literally, like all these religions tell you, oh, it's just literal. Interpret it literal. No, don't. The words have... You can change one word in a sentence, and the entire sentence means something totally different. And that's what they're doing with the Bible. They even admit it. They do it right in front of you. I mean, in my time, I read the Bible when I was a kid, and then I read the verse. For example, I think it's John 4:4, I can't remember. Or Matthew 6:24, popularity with the world is the enemy of God. Therefore, if you're popular with the world, you're the enemy of God. Guess what they changed it to? They now changed it to friendship with the world is the enemy of God. Therefore, if you're friends with the world, you're the enemy of God. Well, wait a minute, ladies and gentlemen. Popularity means something totally different than friendship. Popularity means that you do what the popular world does, like the politicians. It doesn't mean that you do what your friends do. Well, hell, if your friends are doing everything that the politicians are doing, then what they're telling you to do is do what your friend's doing. Now, I'm sorry, but that is a totally different meaning. If you don't see that, you're a moron. You're a brain-dead zombie. Popularity is like Hollywood and the politician and the president telling you, do this or else. Well, wait a minute. If that guy is telling you to do something wrong and you know it in your heart and soul, and he's popular with the world, and he's telling you to do something that you know is wrong, then you don't do it. That's what the verse meant. Friendship? Friendship? Hell, I'm friends with my dog, but that doesn't mean I lick my balls. I mean, my dog does, licks his balls. I mean, whatever. I can't lick my balls. I mean, do what you're told to do. I mean, I'm trying to make some laughter here, okay? I've got to have a little comedy in my script here. But, ladies and gentlemen, popularity and friendship is two different meanings. And these people read the Bible. Oh, it says this, Jesus that, Jesus this. No, it doesn't. That Bible has been edited, and you're reading it literally. These people don't even know who Jesus is. They think Jesus is one man that's coming in the flesh on a donkey, and they're all going to save him. Hell, the Mormons believe that Jesus is coming on a spaceship from the planet Kolob and is going to take them off to a new world. Well, I guarantee you the Jesuits are probably going to do exactly that, but not Jesus. Ladies and gentlemen, the real Jesus is the sun, and the real Mary is the moon. It's always been that way. And that sun vibrates at a certain frequency. Okay, and that frequency is love. The cell towers vibrate hate. The moon vibrates higher learning, electromagnetic. Okay, and when you mix the sun and the moon and the earth with your chakras and the conquering of your ego archetypes, all of a sudden you become Jesus, or Jesus, or whatever you are, or Muhammad, or Buddha, or Krishna, or Tammuz, or Horus. I mean, you can become all of those characters. And all it means is that you're an enlightened one. Ladies and gentlemen, singularity is real. Duality is not. You see, when you think that you're a person, a percentage of a sun, well, you're not a person. Ladies and gentlemen, you are part of a network of God. And Satan's trying to make you a part, or man is trying to make you a network of man. But you have to remain in that network of God. That means that you download your knowledge from the sun, the moon, the earth, and the stars and the planets, the real internet. God's internet. You don't download information from the Satan's internet. That's why they call it a planet. It's a network. And the internet is Satan's network. And I'm an angel of God doing God's work, coming into Satan's territory saying, don't take down these cell towers. Okay? Form a militia and get rid of these cell towers, because they're making you vibrate hate and fear. And it's so amazing that you live in fear and you think that the conspiracy theorists are the ones living in fear. The conspiracy theorists are the ones that are not conforming. And the elites know this, but you don't. Your brain works opposite. You think that you are, by going to work and just doing what you're told to do, that you don't live in fear. Ladies and gentlemen, you're the one that lives in fear. You're afraid to lose your job. You're afraid not to have money. You're afraid not to have your big fancy house and your fancy car and your new tires and your boat and your fishing pole. You live in fear. We don't live in. We're sacrificing everything for truth. And we know that we're probably going to have to sacrifice. We're going to lose everything. They're going to come in and take everything we own. They're going to take. Eventually, they're going to, they falsely accuse you of crimes, and eventually they take your body. And then they're going to sacrifice your body up to their false gods. And if you think that doesn't happen, you're very mistaken. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're a conformist and you're just going to work, doing what you're told, you go to church, you sit, you stand, you kneel, you sit, you stand, you kneel, you sit, you stand. You go down and you drink Jesus' blood and you eat his body, and you're giving them permission to do the same thing to other people, and they do it. They do it in reality. You're just drinking wine, but you're giving them permission to go do it themselves. When you conform to vaccines and chemicals being sprayed in the air, oh, that's just a conspiracy theory. Let me go to work. You're the one living in fear. We're the ones saying, damn, that's poison. Hey, join me in speaking up about poison. Well, that's just a conspiracy theory. See, you're the one that vibrates fear. How are the ones battling the giants living in fear? What a mental illness you have. And I love you, you're my brethren, but I'm sorry to tell you, you're a parable of the cave. Get out of your cave. Plato, get out of the cave. I don't want to come out of the cave, I'm too afraid. But no, they go, you're the one that's afraid because you're the one. Listen, when you come out of the cave, you're brave. When you stay in the cave, you're a coward. Ladies and gentlemen, this cave was created by man. To escape the cave, that's God's world. How do you get to heaven if you don't escape your prison? The ball earth spinning through space at 1,500 miles an hour, and some magical theory called gravity, and all the bullshit that they tell you. And you conform, oh yeah, that's real. And you'll fight and kill. If I went to downtown City Hall and I had flat earth or concave earth brochures, I'm going to tell you, those people would sacrifice me. They would laugh, mock, make fun of. Oh, he wants to free his mind. Oh, what a dummy, idiot, crazy man. I'd have a psychologist sitting there. Fred, can I write you a prescription? The flat earth, the concave earth. I need to write you a prescription. Fred, you need to stop living in fear. Ladies and gentlemen, people who say, wait a minute, it doesn't make sense that we're spinning at 1,000 miles an hour, 1,500 miles an hour, and we're hurling through space at 5,000 miles an hour, and then just magically, the guitar stays in the corner. It doesn't even move. The waters in the ocean, they barely move. And they tell you this magical bullshit. I'm sorry to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, but this earth is fixed and everything revolves around us. And the reason why they told you that is because they want you to think that you're insignificant. They want you to live in fear. Oh my God, an asteroid's coming. Yeah, right. You're the one living. See, we're smart enough to know that there's no asteroid, but they do have directed energy weapons that can simulate an asteroid. They had them 2,000 years ago. They had them 4,000 years ago. They had them 6,000 years ago. They had them 8,000 years ago. The technology's always been there. It's just hidden in the Vatican vaults. Oh, and by the way, I want to tell you something. All you Lockheed Martin, Boeing, and all these people. Let me tell you something about history. When the Vatican gives you secrets, guess what happens to all those people? Take a wild guess. When the Vatican decides to hide the technology, again, how do you think they accomplish that? They give it to you, you kill the targeted individuals, you destroy the earth, okay? But believe you me, the Jesuits aren't stupid. There are a lot of things, but they're not stupid, okay? So let me ask you a question. How do you think they're going to hide what they did? How do you think they're going to tell you that it was an asteroid when it was really a directed energy weapon? How do you think they're going to claim that a spaceship flies down when they probably already... Well, no, I don't think they already have reverse magnetic flying machines. But those machines aren't shown to the slaves. The slaves can't know about that. But what happens when they tell you that it exists and they say it's aliens? And they pretend like they're gods because they're aliens. And why do you think they want to lock us up in prison and kill us? Because we're going to go, wait a minute, that's not an alien, dude. That's just a Plum Island demon that was created in Plum Island, and they're simulating aliens. And then you go, oh my God, Fred is so confused. No, I'm not. There is nothing... I stick with the Bible's Old Testament. One guy told me that Old Testament is bad. Ladies and gentlemen, things that are old are the best. Matter of fact, the targeted individuals are old souls. We've probably been on this earth before. We remember being on this earth, and you don't. That's why we can see into the future, because everything that's happening now has happened before. You know, so it's very easy for us to start remembering how this world functions. And the Jesuits know that. They know that we've lived before. They know that we're old souls, and that we've returned here to free your mind and free you from bondage. We're what the system used to call the prophets. Believe you me, ladies and gentlemen, the old souls are not your preachers. They're not your ministers, whatever you want to call them. The old souls are sitting at home with no friends, no family, nothing to do. The world is after them, trying to prosecute them. And we're just trying to speak to as many people as we can without getting arrested or tortured or harassed or targeted. Or we just want to stay on this earth as long as we can and talk to as many people as we can about truth. That's what we want to do. We want to free as many people as we can. But the world does not allow the old souls to talk to the young souls. Sorry to tell you that, but they don't. And I know this for a fact because I've lived the life. No, I've lived it. And you out there that are being targeted, you know that I'm telling you the truth. The old souls are the ones that the God of the flesh, the physical world, is after. And that's a fact. And they certainly don't have jobs. They can barely drive. They're homeless. They're financially beaten and tortured. I love, Jordan Maxwell, when he talks. The man is broke. You know, please support Jordan Maxwell. If I had money, I would. Why doesn't somebody, Jordan Maxwell and Bill Cooper and all these people who really started this movement, they were the first souls to wake up. You know, they are amazing. And look at, you know, William Cooper was murdered, and the rest of us are on the borderline of being homeless or locked up in prison. So, you know, it's a fact. And then the military-industrial complex has Alex Jones, you know, which is probably, you know, he's a CIA agent. I don't know why you don't see that. It's very clear to me. He makes fools out of us. He acts like a crazy man. He talks about President Trump like he's a god. And whenever something happens, he just keeps you talking about fear-mongering. That's all he does. Sporadically he tells you a lot of truthful things. But let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. His environment is controlled. Ours is not. We're the ones that the Jesuits have lost control of, so they want us dead. It's a fact. Alex Jones is under control. He's under my thumb. Remember that song? The girl. He's under the thumb. So is Dane Wigington. So is all these guys that have hundreds of thousands of subscribers. And they're syndicated. And they're just living a good life. You know? They're not being targeted. Every once in a while somebody might insult Alex Jones. But that's part of the game, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, that's just part of the game. The real truthers are being crucified. I know. You know? And we're being microwaved to where we're not as wise as we should be. Imagine how intelligent us targeted individuals would be if they weren't microwaving us to death. Imagine what we would be capable of. Imagine what we could become. I can imagine, ladies and gentlemen. I can. And I think about the torture that we go through. Electronic weaponry that's pointed at us 24 hours a day. And I know for a fact that our bodies aren't growing like they should. They're trying to stop our mental ascension. And most people commit suicide. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll never do that. I've had so many depressed challenges, and I still love my brethren. Thank you for listening. Thank you.